leaving. I'm not leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard of SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
And just like that, and just like that, the show begins. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the X-Fan Show.
Is that what it is? Is that what we are? The X-Fan Show?
Yeah, because we ain't going nowhere.
I thought we were just white noise. Ain't that what's said? Is that we're just white noise and we're blackballed and we're idiots? Well, I'm an idiot.
You know what? I like the words that you use. You used white noise, blackballed. Did you catch all that?
I did. I'm white noise. You're blackballed. Well, your head's bald.
I guess you could say that.
Right?
Yeah. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to entertain you.
Whoop-de-damn-do.
I mean, listen. Yeah, you're right. Whoop-de-damn-do. Arlington, though, since you're in a video sharing mood, I have something for us that the glorious XFL has, or the UFL has just.
I'm going to say we're not that anymore, man.
Put out.
You love the moments, the memories, the magic, the game. So let's get more. More action. More celebration. More unforgettable. More football. More of what you love.
Where are we at? Oh, there we are. You're supposed to hit back this. There we are. That was a commercial that we've seen probably I don't know how many times, Arlington, in over the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And exciting to see the UFL, who has been a league that has made it very hard to get behind, actually start promoting themselves.
You know
what? What do we know?
I'm starting to believe, sir.
Yes.
That this league is wanting to be a little bit more serious than they were before. Case in point, I'm going to bring this up to the table.
Okay.
If it's still there. Okay, there it is.
You have it?
Yes, ESPN has just dropped their commentators for
They have. They did.
And there it is, right there. This is courtesy of ESPN PR. If you look at that top one, Joe Tessitore. For those that are wrestling fans, you know who Joe Tessitore is. If you're a college football fan, you know who Joe Tessitore is. Big guy on SEC, especially the SEC games. He's there for all of them. And to have him in the UFL is huge.
Very big.
UFL. And then adding Mark Jones, whose veteran presence is phenomenal. What his job he does with college football, NBA, as you can see in the report there. And then they're bringing back Lowell Galindo, which I don't think Dirty was a huge fan of because of his.
No, he was a mush-mouth idiot.
He's over the top energy. But I was a fan of Lowell Galindo. I just don't like his partner is Kirk Morrison. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Kirk Morrison either. He wasn't very bright.
But what I will say is this is great for the league, bringing in veteran voices to help boost what this league is about. I'm getting the feel though,
Yes.
Urge, that this is the title of our show, For the Love of Football 2.0.
Correct.
That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I've been getting from this.
Uh-huh.
And that's what makes me miss XFL 2.0.
Right.
Because that was what it was about. It was the love of football, right?
Yes.
And they had the kickoff theme song, For the Love of Football and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the Fan Appreciation Network. And I think also what he said was, what was that? More of what you love is just, like I said, that's reminding me of the For the Love of Football.
Well, speaking of more of what you love, Arlington, there was an email that was sent out in a press release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was sent out on, when was this sent out? On Tuesday, yesterday. And it says, Arlington, Texas, February 11th, the United Football League launches its new season-long promotional campaign, More of What You Love. It captures the spirit of spring football league from the aspirations and the drive of its players to the emotional connection of the fans having with football and everything that surrounds America's favorite game. Goes on to say, now this is from Executive Vice President of Marketing and Team Operations, Brooke Campbell, who was newly hired. More of What You Love represents the intense passion for the game that we cannot get enough of. The UFL is a fueling football hungry communities by delivering more ways to access, experience, show your hometown pride, and enjoy the game we all love and crave all year around. Now, Arlington. It goes on to say a few other things, that it's going to focus on the passion around the game. It's going to develop under the league's new marketing and content leadership, and produced by BIG Creative and We Equal One. Stuff like that. It's going to feature exciting action, UFL players on the field, and unforgettable game day experience. So it sounds like we're going back to 2020 XFL is what it sounds like to me.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You have been clamoring for since this merger has happened. Not even the merger, since the
spring football.
No, not just that. The 2023 takeover of Redbird Capital of the XFL, right? So they're launching all of their stuff. We all know that it kicks off on March 28th with the championship game being held here, or I mean, I don't know where. Maybe I don't know where, Arlington. Here, June 14th.
Mercy.
So it's going to have the multi-tiered campaign, combined a national campaign with district team specific approaches that feature local storytelling. Again, this is all stuff that Kurt Hunzinger from 2020 had in plan. What is taken, Arlington, there was a certain individual that I would always argue with, because they changed the jerseys in 2023, right? I said they made them look more fresh. They didn't make them look cartoonish, right? Which in 2020, let's admit, they were kind of cartoonish. They looked like the created, when you create a team, right? Yeah, like right here, what Mike Vogel said, DC is taking the Bar Network out of Kurt's playbook. So the interesting thing is, did they talk to Kurt Hunzinger, who is doing a phenomenal job in the National Lacrosse League? Phenomenal job. But did they take his playbook? It sounds like they did. It really does.
It does, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, this is what we've been wanting for the longest time. And remember when they put together the Battlehawks Bar Network in 2020?
Correct.
And they said DC is taking a page out of that. And listen, I get it. What's going on, Wyatt? I do wish that he was back, but
I don't think they
push
can
come to
afford
shove.
Kurt. They can't afford Kurt now.
No,
They just can't, right? Well, Mike, if you've been watching this show for the past couple of weeks, I've kind of already told you guys where the championship game's going to be at. Kind of already told you where it's going to be. Oops, I wasn't supposed to break that, but yeah, I don't think it's really a rumor.
I'm gonna let you have that.
I don't think it's really a rumor.
Yeah, there, Kevin. No way.
It's all good, Mike. You know you've been busy, and tune in next Monday because Mike Vogel is going to join me and Amanda on B-Hawk Live. He created the page. Something, you know what? Fuck it. Since Mike's on here, I'm going to do this. You know what, Arlington? I'm just going to do this. You know what I'm going to do?
Yes, all right.
Because we have bitched and moaned for how long, Arlington, that the St. Louis fans need to travel, right? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
How long have we complained about this, Arlington?
Way too long.
Way too long. We tried this back in 2020. Nobody wanted to do it. We tried it back in 2023.
And here's my thing, though. 2020 is understandably.
All right, Mike, check your Facebook Messenger. Amanda goes
exactly,
that mouth of mine.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I said it's rumored.
No, that's not what you said.
What did I say? Shit, damn, poop.
You want to go on? I try to clean it up, man.
Frack?
Yeah, you didn't say frack.
Oh, I didn't? I thought I did. My bad.
I wish I can go back and just actually play it for the people so that way you can understand it.
Play what?
What you said, because literally.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, like right here. What Kalia says, we were traveling again this year. I mean, these were people that took what me and you had been complaining about for years, Arlington. Start going and supporting this team. Go to another city and buy tickets for this team. You know what I'm saying? And they did it, and people are starting to do it finally.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. You know?
But you know what? And
what?
Maybe I was too hasty about it, sir.
What were you too hasty about?
About getting what we need to get for this league. You know what I mean? I guess, or my complaints have been heard finally. You know?
I mean, maybe.
Because maybe. It's given that for, like I said before, it's given that for the love of football feel that I've been wanting for some time.
Oh, here we go. We got Mike who's joining us. The guy who stole our idea, Arlington. The guy who stole our idea. Mike, you stole our idea.
Sorry.
No, it's all
no.
good. We're actually glad somebody, because it's Mike, first and foremost, how hard is it to organize this? It's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Oh yeah, getting the tickets with the other teams hasn't been too hard, except for Arlington. I'm still waiting on them to get our link, but other than that, that's been not too hard at all. But now the next part is going to be getting the tailgates set up. So, and Nick Birch has been a huge help with that.
Yeah. Now, Mike, you've been watching us for I don't know, almost since the beginning that we've started this show, when we were the XFL STL talk show, I would think, right?
Yep.
And you were going and traveling to all of these games because we hung out with you in San Antonio for the first game.
Yep.
We hung out with you at the championship game.
Right? You didn't go to Houston.
No, I haven't been to yet. Championship game I couldn't make.
Well, you were at the St. Louis one. I know that.
Yeah.
But I thought you were at the San Antonio championship game for the first XFL.
No, I was wanting to, but
okay.
that I couldn't make.
Oh, that's right. You had something come up. Yeah. So you've been traveling since this new iteration of this league. Explain to people why it's so important, regardless if you're a Battlehawk fan or not. Why is it important to go and support these leagues in these other cities?
I think it just helps grow the league, and just like in Memphis, I know we're bringing a pretty good following. I think it helps them get their fans to come out too, because they don't want to get shown up by St. Louis. So
you're right, and we're only a 4-hour drive
yeah.
away. Now, have you talked to Bill Alexander in
Memphis
yet?
Yeah, I Facebooked with him once, but we'll get in touch here soon once we get a little closer.
All right, and I'm sure you've already talked to Rick Story about Memphis.
Yep.
So Memphis is the closest. So let's go there. What are we thinking of? Are we going to make a weekend trip of it? Is it a day trip? Are we going to evade the showboats? Or what are we going to do in Memphis?
I know I'm going down the night before, so I'll go down to Beale Street. I'm still trying to convince my wife to go. Yeah, because she teaches, so that'd be kind of a late Monday, or that'd be a late night getting back for her. But yeah, we'll I know I'm gonna work with Nick. Bill did say about getting some good spots to park and kind of get our own tail going, but also could join up with them to make sure we're all fun.
Right now, you have the page, which I'm going to put it up here, right here. There it is, the Battlehawk Road Warrior group. You're already at 100 members, and I'm seeing just how people are responding to this. So let's go with the first game in Houston. About how many people so far do you think you have going?
We have 23 tickets sold as of right now.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, that's a long drive to Houston or to fly.
Yeah, I'm flying.
Right, and you guys are all sitting together?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, here, Gabriel, right here. I got the page up right there. You can see it right here. Just look it up on Facebook, Battlehawk Road Warriors, and you can sign up, Okay, now, I know the Memphis one is the big one, right? Because I'm trying to talk Amanda into going to that game. It's on Mother's Day, right?
Perfect way to celebrate it.
Right? That's what I tell her.
You make a weekend of it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So what is the goal for you to get this done? Because you are building a community, like me and Arlington have won it for the St. Louis fans, to build the community, to travel to these games. What is the goal of what you want to accomplish with all this? What, Arlington?
No, go ahead. I'll wait till Mike has his comment.
Okay.
So I don't know if we'll get to this point, but I know we also have season tickets for City. So the St. Louis, they travel a lot to those games. I would love to get even part of the way to what they're doing there. I think it'd be fun to kind of get that soccer, that vibe that we go to games. I know, like we've gone to Nashville, Kansas City for those games. I think that's a lot of fun.
And I think it will work. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. I know me and Arlington have tried to do this, and it is kind of a pain in the rear end to get this done, but you're doing a damn good job. All right, Arlington, I know you had something you wanted to say, so go for it.
It was Kiala's comment. She said there'll be Memphis and Mays Festival while you're down there. So there's also another thing going while you're in Memphis. And because, you're going to be on at Beale Street, that's going to be something else you could think about attending while you're there for that weekend.
Oh, here you go. Maybe Posh could put this in to Mike's group. Tips for football-loving nurse: immune yourself with elderberry 4 days before and after. Okay. That'll work.
Yeah. You're going to be outside.
Right.
You will be outside.
That is true. All right, Mike, thanks for joining us. Tell people what page you got again.
We're called the Battlehawk Road Warriors. We'll be, I know, I'll make it to 3 of the 4 away games. I don't know if I'll make the one in Arlington yet, but Nick Birch, he is going, and then we got some signs that are being made. I'm trying to get a flag made too, so you'll see us at the games.
And are we going to fly the fuel flag? I know you have the fuel flag.
I never got one.
I thought you had one.
No, I flew yours up in
Detroit.
Up in Detroit. That was yours I flew.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I thought I gave it to you. Who knows? I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I had a few beers.
Right, exactly. All right, Mike, thanks for joining us, buddy. All right.
All right, bye.
So there you go, right there. Go follow his page. Go follow it. If you want to know where we're going, that's where you go. And Mike started this, and you heard Mike. He's like, yeah, I kind of stole it from you guys. And then, but it's good. Maybe it's better that a fan runs it instead of us, Arlington.
Exactly. I think it would be best to make sure. See, listen, it would be best for them to take care of that, and so we can do what we need to do and support it.
Yeah. Now, Arlington, let's go back to what we were talking about, for the love of football, right? I know.
Are we talking about 2020? Are we talking about now?
We're talking about now, 2.0. Ron, we can't get fuel flags. We can get fuel flags, Ron. That's not a problem. We'll talk about that in
38 minutes.
38 minutes, Ron. Relax. We'll talk about that in 30 minutes. Jesus, Ron. We even have fuel hats too, Ron. We can get you one of those too if you want.
I don't even have one of those, so that's cool.
We'll have to talk to what's her name. I'll have to talk to what's her name to get us some more. But Arlington, let's get back to it. This is what we want. You wanted the XFL or the UFL to get back to what made it so good.
At least what made, and that's the thing. Going back to that and just taking just a few of it. You don't have to take everything from Vince's idea. And it wasn't just Vince. This was Oliver Luck. This was Jim Caldwell. This was that board Doug Flutie that were putting together this type of network. The Fan Advisory Network was the best thing that they did for XFL 2020. The only thing is we just didn't complete the season. We didn't even know where did you remember what the championship game was going to be for the XFL in 2020?
Well, the rumor was it was going to be in St. Louis. Rumor was it was going in 2020. The rumor was that the championship game would have been in St. Louis.
So even with that being said, it's like now, even if it was like a 5-year period that you take it from that, this is where it can lead to some success. We know what we've had over the last 3 years in spring football, because you've got to date back to USFL back in 2022, right? If you want to go even further back to the Alliance of American Football, fine, be my guest.
Right.
My thing is we've had a year each year with spring football. We're going to get it again with 25. So now with this more of what you love, please give us that and give us things that we love. Okay, don't just use it as a campaign slogan. Give us what we ask for. If you can find anything with the Fan Advisory Network, take that plan and utilize it.
Arlington, I'm glad you said that, because if you just happen to go to the UFL's website, right? You can become an insider for the UFL. Not just the St. Louis Battlehawks, Arlington, but for all of the teams, Arlington. You could become an insider for all of the teams that you want to have. Was it supposed to be Houston, the 2020? Oh, you're right. The 2020 championship game was supposed to be in Houston. That's right, Arlington. Good catch, Dan. Good catch. But yeah, Arlington, so you could be an insider for any of the teams you want to be. Just as it had to be the Battlehawks, it could be all of them. And you could get your news. So Arlington, it's back to what you said. The Fan Board Advisory. It's back, basically.
Bring the game back. Bring a legitimate game for the app.
Oh, yes.
Get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because the AAF had one, right? It was very, I wish they would find that way of doing it and put that for this. They tried it with the UFL with the fantasy. Cool. I was cool with that, but that was for the XFL. But I want the game. This time I want to either make a bet or I want to fantasy football. I want to play along with it. So when these players come out, I'm talking about I need this stat.
Yes.
We need quicker. It needs to be quicker.
Faster. Well, it was funny because if you go back to XFL 2020, right? Remember, Arlington, they had the app. You can make the game bets, the predictions. You couldn't, but you could win prizes, right?
Which was fine.
Right. Now, if you remember, my son, Casey, won 2 season tickets for the following season. COVID happened, but the XFL was gracious enough to honor those for the XFL season, right? But Tim, is it an awful way to start the season in Houston? Because here's why I say no. The Fox lost Friday night SmackDown. They need something in that 7 o'clock hour, right? Houston is going back to their original home in TDECU, which is a completely remodeled stadium. What is Texas known for, Arlington, when it comes to football?
Come on, Houston Texans.
What is Texas known for?
What do you mean? We're known for football.
But what is big on Friday nights in Texas?
High school football is big.
Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights. Couldn't do the Defenders. Couldn't do it. They didn't have the spot. Couldn't do it here in St. Louis. Look, the rumor was they were going to do it in St. Louis, but the dome was already taken. That's why St. Louis got picked as the first Friday night game. I guarantee you, Houston will be fine now that it's back in TDECU. What is this? I wish they would put all the road games on Friday night so all the Battlehawk fans can kick it by recovering it by Monday.
Recovered by Monday.
Jesus, Scott, that's just called too much partying. I don't think Houston was the bad idea. The only other team I could have seen you do it with would have been in San Antonio, but we know what's going on in San Antonio. Especially that weekend when you have the Final Four. So you're going to have a lot of people, and I'm telling you now, people from San Antonio are going to travel up to Houston. People from Arlington are going to travel down to Houston for that first game. You're going to see a lot of the super fans at that first game.
If one thing that needs to be, it's got to be a welcoming party to welcome back the UFL. You know, I'm gonna do my damnedest to get down there for Houston because I want to be there and to experience TDECU again because that was a fun place to be in 23. You know, I had a great time, whether it was on the field, whether it was in the stands, whether it was in the press box, wherever. I had a great time there at those games. And remember, this was a time where everybody was trying to retrust spring football again.
Right.
Now that we're seeing that it can sort of be trusted, it can be something that you can get to. And yes, Mike just sat there and said it. A number of college students are going to be there. This is during the collegiate year.
Right.
So Friday nights hanging out at the game, paying $15 for the game. Shoot, a lot of these kids are gonna be 21, so they're gonna get some drinks and whatnot, get some food. They're gonna have a great time at that. I understand it's just right in the midst with the Houston Astros season. So what better place to be on a Friday night than to be there? Now, my biggest wish with this is just to go ahead. I know for optics reasons, they're trying to keep everything close, but just go ahead and open it up. See what happens. You know what I mean? Open up the entire venue.
Well, they will for the XFL conference. Well, that's a USFL conference team, isn't it?
It is. It is. But
Dan, who says you don't have to go to a San Antonio game? Just because the Battlehawks aren't playing doesn't mean you can't go to a San Antonio game. I can tell you this now. I've already planned on going to a few Memphis games. I've already planned on it. I'm going to a few Memphis games this year. It's a 4-hour drive. It's a turn and burn. I can do it. Not a problem. You want to go to San Antonio? Go to a game. You could dress in your Battlehawk gear, and they wouldn't even give a rat's ass. They'd welcome you with open arms. You know what I'm saying? They'd welcome you with open arms. That's what I'm saying. This year, guys, regardless if the Battlehawks are playing or not, and you can travel to one of these stadiums, do it. Go to one. If you're St. Louis, guys, if the Battlehawks aren't playing, we should be driving down to Memphis just to support the Showboats. Just to support them. Regardless if they're playing in St. Louis. If you're a fan, if you're in Texas, and this is why I like the Texas fan base so much, Arlington, right? Okay? Here's the reason why. Look, opening weekend, Arlington, you have St. Louis versus Houston, right?
Right.
Okay? March 28th. On the 29th, you have Arlington, the Brahmas versus Arlington on the 29th, okay? March 30th at 11 o'clock, you have the Michigan Panthers and the Memphis Showboats at 11 o'clock. So if you're in St.Louis, drive to 4 hours down to Memphis. The game would be over by 3. You drive back home.
If you're going to St. Louis and Houston, if you can find a way to get there to Saturday's game, San Antonio versus Arlington,
it's going to be a great game.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that, like right after, and then drive up.
Well, because Arlington, me and you were talking about it because me and Amanda can't make it work for both of us to go March 28th, right? So we were talking about going down on March 28th for that game. Then we were going to go to Arlington for the Brahmas and the Renegades game. And then we we're going to go from there up to the Memphis game. My schedule doesn't work out to where I can't go to the first game on Friday night, which that's okay. I'm not worried about it because I can tell you where I'm going to be at. I'm going to be at Murphy's on 21, right over there off of Tesson Ferry, having a big party. You know what I'm saying? See, look, Mike's saying, I'm still thinking about trying to get to Arlington from Houston. You can, Mike. What is it, Arlington, a 3-hour drive?
3.5 hour drive.
Okay, and plus, Mike, that game don't start till 4
and then
or 3 o'clock.
The idea I would do is fly to Houston and get a rental.
Yep.
Take the rental to Dallas and bring it back to Houston, take my flight back.
Or why not just leave your rental in Dallas?
No.
And take your flight from Dallas.
Or you know what? Because
or why not just drive it from Dallas up to Michigan to Memphis?
More.
Oh, then drive to Memphis. Drive to Memphis.
It costs more. That's if I was driving. I'm flying. I would fly to Houston first.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Get my rental in Houston.
Uh-huh.
Go over Houston to Dallas.
Uh-huh.
And I would have to drive it back to Houston, which is fine. I don't care. I would have to catch a flight on the next day.
Kevin, if you want to go, listen, buddy, if you want to go, I'll go with you. I'll commit to go to the Memphis game. I would do it. I'd go down there in my Battlehawk gear.
It's an early game, man.
It is. It's an 11 o'clock game. You get up at 6:30. You're on the road by. You get up at 6. You're on the road by 6:30. You're in Memphis by what? 10:30. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And boom, you're at the game. Why not?
Sound like fun. Sound like a lot of fun.
Doesn't it? And it's not a bad drive. 3 hours, 3.5 hours, depending on how fast you go.
And that's week 1.
That is week 1.
I have read over at I think it's now called altfootball.com.
Hey, congratulations to Anthony Miller, Reed Johnson, and Mike Mitchell, Pat Ruffino, Sam Joust, all of those guys. Did I miss anybody? Greg Parks. Parks.
Those guys too. Yep.
Big shout out to them guys for starting their own thing, altfootball.com. If you want to go check it out, apparently they'll have some premium content. You know, I mean, Mike Mitchell.
Yeah, and they just dropped some.
Right. Mike Mitchell is considered, the end-all, be-all of spring football, which he probably is. Not gonna sit here and bash Mike
Let's not
Mitchell.
do that.
I'm not. I just said.
Let's not do that.
He is the end-all, be-all of spring football.
Don't do that either.
He's the end-all, be-all of spring football.
So you're just going to keep doing it, right?
He's the end-all, be-all of spring football.
You really serious about that?
Listen, like when Howard Stern puts the king of all media, he puts quotations by it. I was putting quotations.
Okay.
By Mike Mitchell's the end-all, be-all of spring football.
Okay.
Quote, end quote. Ain't that how you do it?
Sure it is.
Ain't that how you do it?
Hey, I read this little piece.
Okay.
This little piece about the UFL championship game about Chase Garbers.
Yes.
And my speculation was when I watched it, he looked like he did not want to play.
Yes.
I read this piece, little small piece from Mike Mitchell. He said he played the game in fear, protecting himself from potential injury because,
which we all knew,
there was a team that was looking for him.
Yep.
And then he played so poorly, like they rescinded that off.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
I mean,
but
I would
that was
too.
my thing.
I mean, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm rescinding Patrick Mahomes' big contract for the way he played in the playoff and the Super Bowl.
You know what? I got a whole nother thing for that for a whole nother day.
I'm just saying.
I got a whole thing for that for a whole nother day, man.
Just saying.
Yeah. When they say the NFL's rigged, I'm really starting to believe it. But definitely what's coming up with this UFL season is what hopefully is what we received in 2020, what made that so great during that year, despite the fact that who cares about the television ratings, just going lower, but the game itself was the best. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the game was great.
It was. I'll give you that.
I find it interesting that it came across this morning. I seen a picture of Daryl Johnston. He was with, Fox Sports. And some colleagues asked me about why is he with, why is he showing him with Fox Sports? Well,
whoa, stop. Just admit the colleagues who you're talking about.
I'm not going to throw names out.
Was me and Amanda.
And you just don't get it at all.
It's part of fuel. Who cares?
Guys, you try to get him to understand the business, folks, and he just don't give a damn. So you know what? It is what it is at this point.
It was us.
But this is what I have to deal with. I've dealt with for the last 6 years of my life with him. And 7 years, right? 20.
Now here, Arlington, look, here the reason why we sent it to you, because we found it odd because you really hadn't seen a lot of pictures of Moose in an NFL ad, right? Now, Arlington, I'd said earlier a while back on this show, right? That I think that the UFL is actually going to have some kind of partnership. Did I not say that?
What partnership?
I made a Spurgeonostrous
prediction.
Tongue in cheek, right? And now you're seeing Daryl Johnson back on the NFL pictures front center.
There.
But not front and center, bro. Not front and center.
Oh my gosh, really? You serious? Are you serious now? Did they show the whole team? Come on, man. Wow.
Not front and center. But anyways, and if you listen to Johnson over Super Bowl weekend at Radio Row, Johnson said the XFL or UFL is going back to their original kickoff. He said, our goal is working to get our players to the next level that we're involved with.
But that's been the thing, man.
Ed, listen, I know he's an NFL announcer, but you haven't seen him on any of their promos until just recently.
He just did Radio Row.
radio
So what are
role
we
for the
getting?
UFL.
Okay.
For the
Exactly.
UFL. And Arlington,
Yeah.
again,
Didn't he do
as
it
I've
last year
said,
too?
listen, as I've said, if you go to LinkedIn, you see a story being told of an exodus being told, right?
Okay. Sure.
Now remember, this was a league merger. Or really, was it a league merger? Might have said that. Well, I mean, listen, Arlington, this is 2025. Everybody believes in conspiracies. Come on. Everything's fake news, Arlington.
And we'll stand in front of cameras and sit there and say,
right.
Some things I'll say will be. Some things I'll say will be.
Some things I will say will be incorrect. You'll just have to fact check me. You've always had to do that with Spurge. You've always had to fact check me. Am I right, Arlington?
I mean, this is real life, man.
9 times out of, but Arlington, 9 times out of 10.
Where we're living in an alternative reality, man.
Hey, 9 times out of 10, Arlington. What facts have always been right? This guy's right here. Love me or hate me. Call me what you want.
You'll say I'm right 9 out of 10 times and then wrong 10 out of 10 times. So stop it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you just gotta you say it to believe it, Arlington. You say it to believe it.
Yes, Kevin. My nightmare is starting to come true, man.
If you say it enough, people believe it. But I've told you, and I told you guys, they're getting the partnership with the NFL. Okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, they're getting the partnership with the NFL. Because if you noticed,
oh, don't respond using your page, sir. I will call you all the way out.
Bonds.
Will call you all the way out.
Gene Bonds.
I'd rather listen to the guys than Mike Florio. Because Florio has always been a guy that has never really truly believed in it. But he sits there on a daily and sit there.
But if you remember, there was a certain individual, Arlington, in the Super Bowl. Oops, we're not supposed to say that, am I? Oops.
The game's over. over.
Oh, okay. In the Super Bowl, mentioned the UFL. The kickoff. Mentioned the kickoff in the UFL. And who was that? The GOAT. The GOAT said it.
I would hope, especially when the game is going to be featured on that network, that you make some type of mention of it. And that the fact that the person that you say, wait, shut your mouth, that's mentioned it, who himself was a part of it the previous season in the championship game, would say something about it. Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest thing. So mission accomplished. So that's my thing now.
Right, yeah. All season, they never mentioned the UFL during the NFL. Never mentioned it. All they would say is that other league.
No.
I don't even think
people that mentioned.
You're right.
NBC probably mentioned it because of Jake Bates.
Well, yes, Jake Bates in the playoffs.
What? Jake Bates, period.
It was in the playoffs. Oh, no, you're right. They did mention it one time on NBC.
Thank you.
Right. But you mentioned it on the biggest game of the year.
I hope so.
You have the GOAT talking about the UFL and talking about the UFL kickoff. Now, who was at the championship game last year, Arlington?
You talking about which game?
At the UFL championship. Oh, Tom Brady. Wasn't The Rock. It was Tom Brady. Oops.
So my guess is when you have made a signing of sorts of one Tom Brady, you want to make sure that your star is able to commentate in a football game, right? Got an opportunity to do so. His first assignment was the UFL championship game.
That was true. It was. And I will tell you this. He did a hell of a better job than Tony Romo ever did in the Super Bowl. A hell of a better job than Tony.
They're one and the same to me.
They're not. Stop.
They're one and the same.
They're not. Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is the GOAT of all announcers when it comes to players. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
I would rather hear Charles Davis, who does a phenomenal job.
Charles Davis does a great job, but how many rings does Charles Davis has?
That's what this is about.
I'm just saying. Tom Brady's got 7.
Give me Greg Olsen.
And how many rings does Olsen have? Tom Brady's got 7 and a $750,000 bling watch that he was flexing.
And he talking about he didn't want to get roasted for. But I'm like, you leaving it out there for you to get roasted.
Right. That's right, Tommy.
Because you like the attentions like
another basketball loves player. Loves it like Romo.
Like don't like the attention.
Loves it like Romo.
So speaking of
which, yeah. See, look, Romo had faded. Brady is above him. See, because Gene's a smart guy. I have heard Tom Brady talk football on the radio before his commentating. He is so knowledgeable. You're right, Jared. He is. Tony Romo is a bum.
So you might as well ask for Tom Brady to come back and do the UFL again, then, right?
I listen. I would. You know what? I would be more than honored for Tom Brady to call this league.
Gene, you sound so biased about that. And you know why? Because don't get me wrong, I love Kevin Harlan, but I just hear the bias in Gene's.
Do you know who I would tell you this, Arlington. Do you know who they need as their color commentator?
Not you.
This guy right here.
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
I'd be like Madden.
Now that ESPN has said put out their commentators, I'm ready for Fox to put out theirs, and I'm ready for Gus Johnson to make his way over to the UFL. I'm ready. He should do it. I'm telling you, if they bring them in, him and Joel Klatt together doing games, it's a wrap. I need him in Houston for that very first game on Fox.
I wouldn't cuss on national live television.
Yeah, you would. I know
you would. No, I wouldn't.
First game, you gone.
No, listen. It's been very rare since I've said the F word on this show up until tonight. Very rare. Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
You lie.
No, when's the last? No. The FCC would come after me.
No, they would come for the network, but then they have to take it out of Dirty's paychecks.
Paychecks? 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 Paychecks?
Hey, I'll throw in 50.
Paychecks?
Kevin, I'll throw in 50 that he slipped. Quick, too.
Paychecks?
Let it be a person he can't stand that's out there throwing the ball around.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Whoop-de-damn-do. Whoop-de-damn-do.
You're getting out of control now, brother. Oh man. Oof. All right. Hey.
Listen, we got the women coming up after us. They have the great Dr. Aaron Shannon on.
And they following us? Oh my god.
They are following. How are they gonna top this? You can't top this.
Us, man.
You know.
Well, we got something we got to do as soon as this is over. So.
Right, yeah, exactly. But you know, Arlington, hey, guys, be tuning in. If you have not watched B-Hawk Live, go back and watch B-Hawk Live because there were some very interesting things said on there with the great Freak Beanie. Me and Travis. Well, I mean, that was what his West Virginia highlights said. There's some big things coming up with fuel and stuff like that. And it might just happen to be with something about cancer. Maybe. I don't know. See, look.
Gene ain't no good. Gene ain't no good.
Look, see, people want to pay me.
No,
you know?
no, they don't. They saying you slip up.
No, I would slip up. I would slip
Dude,
up.
We already know you'll slip up.
I would slip up. That's just bullshit. There's no way I'd.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You slip up, man, easily. You're gonna be like Jordan Strafford.
What's up, Rig? Good night, Dan. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. We're cutting this short because me and Arlene said we have something after this that we have to take care of. Some other big things that we got to talk about there. Listen, be tuning in to Fuel for sure, because there's a lot of big stuff that's getting ready to happen here on this network that you guys are not going to want to miss. You know what Fuel is always meant for. It's meant for the fans. It's meant for us to unite. It's meant for us to have an experience, and it's meant for us to be a legion, and it is for us to help out the people and to give back to the communities and charities. Just leave it at that. Arlington, I got nothing else, bro. 18 right after this with Dr. Aaron Shannon.
All right. Hey, thanks to everybody, even you, Couch Coach Sports. I know who you are, man. Thank y'all for tuning into this edition of the X-Fan Show. Hey, Sandy. I see you too, Rig. Do your thing, man. Yes, fuel business has to be taken care of. We out of here. So catch us next time on the X-Fan Show.